Hey Dragon Slayers, today's video is about circadian rhythms, insulin, and nighttime eating. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Let's get started. So circadian rhythms are repetitive, predictable, cyclical changes in behaviors and hormones over 24 hours. These patterns are seen in almost all animals. Almost all our hormones, including growth hormone, cortisol, and parathyroid hormone, are secreted in a circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythms also help govern insulin, which affects weight gain, and ghrelin, which controls hunger, leading to practical implications for eating patterns and weight loss. Circadian rhythms have evolved to respond to differences predominantly in ambient light. As determined by the season and time of day, it is believed that food was relatively scarce in Paleolithic times and was predominantly available during daylight hours. Humans hunted and ate by day, and once the sun went down, well, you just couldn't see the food in front of your face. Nocturnal animals may very well have had circadian rhythms more suited to eating at night, but not humans, given that there is a difference between eating during the day and eating during the night. There are a few studies that are perhaps revealing on this. In 2013, a study of two groups of overweight women were randomly assigned to eat a large breakfast or a large dinner. Both ate 1,400 calories a day. Only the timing of the largest meal was changed. The breakfast group lost far more weight than the dinner group. But why is this? Despite following similar diets and eating about the same amount, the dinner group had a much larger overall rise in insulin. An earlier 1992 study showed similar results. In response to the same meal given either early or late in the day, the insulin response was 25 to 50% greater in the evening meals. Weight gain is driven by insulin, and higher insulin response in the evening was translated into more weight gain for the dinner group. This illustrates the very important point that obesity is a hormonal, not merely a caloric imbalance. And it may be helpful to explain the well-known association of night shift work and obesity. However, that could also have to do with the increased cortisol response due to disturbed sleep patterns. Eating the largest meal in the evening seems to cause a much larger rise in insulin than eating earlier. Folk wisdom, of course, also advises to avoid eating large meals in the evening. The reason offered usually is something along the lines of, if you eat just before bed, you don't get a chance to burn it off and it will turn to fat. Maybe that's not technically true, but perhaps there is something here. Eating at late night seems to be especially problematic for weight gain. This response may have evolved to help us gain fat, which may have had a survival advantage in past times. So this is something that I learned very recently. I've been a evening/nighttime eater for a long time, even when I did intermittent fasting, and I would get annoyed with the really high glucose spikes in the morning. But now I've transitioned and shifted that. I try to have all my meals before like 2 o'clock, preferably even earlier if I can, before noon on most days. And I've noticed a dramatic shift in my blood glucose levels and how I feel and my energy and cognition. So haven't noticed much of a difference on the scale yet, but I just started doing this a few weeks ago. So I'm really excited to see how this goes, and I hope that this was informative for you guys because I feel like it's not talked about enough. Dr. Boz was the doctor that I found out this information from, and I'll definitely be covering one, if not both of her books in upcoming series. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.